Good.
All right, we'll go ahead and start out. Can we get a roll call?
Anderson.
Here.
Radcliffe.
Here.
Sauger.
We have to motion to let us participate.
Oh, that's right. Thank you, Brian. So let me back up. So before we start, can I get a motion to allow those who are here electronically to participate?
I so move.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Or do we do a roll call on that, or a roll vote? No.
Well, here's the thing. As I understand the rules on this, Pete, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but as I understand it, you have to have an in-person forum under the Open Meetings Act, and you guys do not have an in-person.
We can interpret that you only have 6 members right now.
Yeah.
So 3 is a quorum.
Well,
Yeah.
I suppose you could do that.
That is correct,
That's
because 3 is a quorum.
A reading, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's right, I forgot.
No, but
Or is that-
that's good that we're making sure we're following the rules.
All right, cool.
So, all right. So with that little correction, all right, I'm going to just ask one more time. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's 3-0. All right. Now, can I do a roll call?
Stricker.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Sauger.
Here.
Radcliffe.
Here.
Anderson.
Here.
Leone.
Oh, okay. Here. All right. Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Now, and this is the only part I get messed up. Is this a roll call vote or is it a?
It doesn't need to be
Okay,
that one, but you guys did do the motion, right, to make sure that they could both participate,
Yeah.
right? All right, good.
And that 3-0 passed.
All right, good.
All right. So all in favor of the motion to approve the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Same call. Anybody nay? Nope. All right. Looks like it passes. All right. Public comments. Do we have anybody that?
Unfortunately, we have nobody signed up, sir.
Unfortunately.
Well, we always love to have public input.
All right. New business. Do we have any new business? Or did we change the? Okay. Never mind. Go ahead. Yeah. I did the same one.
So I have, the new business I have would be in the administrative report, which I can do now, or I can do it per the agenda, whatever you prefer.
We'll do it in the admin report. Okay. Any other new business? Brian, Mark, Nick?
No, thank you.
Nope.
All right. So we'll move on to financials.
Okay. Everybody does anyone not have the financials, whether it be emailed or from the posting? If not, let me know and I'll send them to you after this. But to give you an overview, through December, this is May through December, talking income, year-to-date income is down 5.5% and down to budget 21% on a year-to-date basis. It's primarily driven, as it has been over the last number of months, from the project fees we had in the prior year. And we, of about $20,000, that was the pet dying activity and so forth. Year-to-date expenses are up about 11%, but down 3% to budget. So that's working out okay. We do have a year-to-date, on the year-to-date, we do have the first payment of the from the EZ to the MCD EC. So that's gonna hit, obviously, and that wasn't budgeted for, but that's hitting the expense line a little bit. As a result, our net income's down $11,000. versus last year, about $20,000 versus budget. Again, that's due to primarily the payment to the ECDC and then also the pet dine expenses. So nothing of new note other than the payment that we've paid to the EDC. Other than that, the expenses are as they have been. I don't have any other questions. The one thing though, we will be getting from an expense perspective, a KISS, if you will, from not paying Charlie from January through the end of the EZ year, fiscal year, which is April. So we'll have 4 months, about $14,000 of a KISS there. So it is in the budget though. So again, you know, relative to budget and relative to next year, it'll be a little bit, last year it'll be a little different. But other than that, we've got about 14,000 on hand, and that's all. That's the highlights. You do all have the detailed reports. If you have them, if you have any questions now on them or any going forward, please ask.
All right, question. Anybody have any questions for or about the financials? Do we need to motion to accept the financial reports?
Maybe like a general consensus to agree.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I don't believe we need to accept any financial reports, it's just been
Yeah,
attached.
I apologize, my coffee hasn't fully kicked in, so.
It's my.
And I'm waiting for Brian to correct me on something.
No, fine.
All right.
And just to keep everybody on the same page, until we've got the new year will be coming up starting in May, and then we'll be able to have the budget and the year ago all reconciled, and then we'll be on the same page. But you're all aware of how the mid-year changes we had. So,
All right.
yeah.
If we don't have, oh, go ahead. Does someone have something? Nope. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to the administrator's report.
Okay. So primarily what I just wanted to report out on was something we've talked about in the past at these meetings. Our intent was to, or my intent when we took over as the administrator was to go out and have individual meetings with the local municipality EZ leadership, and then also after that have a joint meeting and kind of bring together what we're doing well, what we need to do differently, what we need to start doing, and so forth, type of thing. And so we had that meeting, that first meeting, that going forward we're going to call a study session, by the way, just to make sure there's no ambiguity about it. But we're going to call it a study session, and we will post it. But we had it on the 12th, and I'll just take you through the outcomes. Some of these were pretty meaty discussions that we don't decide on anything. We simply try to kind of get a consensus amongst everybody in terms of what we're thinking about, how we resolve some of these issues, or how do we start doing some of the things that we haven't been doing, and so forth. And so this is to read out to the board to kind of get an understanding, and would love the feedback from everybody else. So we advanced the discussions on the website, the marketing effort. And just to refresh everybody's mind, what we want to avoid is having three municipalities in the county, MCEDC, kind of overlapping and doing different things and marketing the EZ in a way where there's overlap and is wasted spend. We want to be very smart about who does what and kind of what our parameters are. So for an example, we haven't decided fully, but we will continue to discuss about this. But for example, and Lou and Garrett, you guys were there, so you can chime in if you want. But if there's going to be if the EDC was going to promote the EZ in any way, it would be in a more holistic way. It would not be anything specific. We do see, and we all did discuss and felt that it made sense that the main marketing effort be driven by the local levels about their EZ, about their area in the EZ. And so what we want to do in further discussions is to simply continue that dialogue and get an understanding of exactly how we're going to do this. We just want to make sure we're not overlapping and spending more money than we need to. Nick, you were there as well, so if you wanted to chime in, please do. But it was a very, very healthy conversation, and I think it's going to get us into a good spot. The next thing, Garrett has a tool that he's been using. It's basically a project tracker. I'll let you speak to it, Garrett, but it's a great best practice. And so everybody agreed that we should be doing it in all the counties, and so we can have some consistency in how we're tracking it. It's a good report, it's a helpful report. And so we've all agreed that going forward, we would like to implement that.
Yeah, I'd say it's more of a report than a tool, but yeah, it's a tracker of each of the projects of, you know, what's the investment, what's the expected benefit, and, you know, the end result number is what's the percentage of benefit to the total project based on the total investment. Just so we can kind of keep our expectations in line of what exactly the enterprise zone is supposed to be able to do for us.
Right. Okay. The other one was something that was an interesting conversation. We uncovered that we don't have a per se contract between the, I guess, county and the EZ zone. We do have the resolutions, and we know right now the minutes and such are serving as the record. The question was, should we have an actual contract though that provides a little bit more detail and content around expectations and timing and all of these other things. The group felt it would be a good idea, but we'd like to get, Pete, I'd like to get your thoughts on that and kind of just see if you feel that'd be worthwhile or what your thoughts were. And Lou, feel free to.
The resolution would serve, but I'm going to be a little bit more particular and say if we're having an agreement for the 1 year, right now we should actually have an agreement in place.
Yeah, my pause is, what does it matter what I think?
I don't know.
No, I don't mean
Just started looking at you.
But this would be agreement between the EZ and the MCEDC?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
That's between the enterprise zone and the MCEDC.
Right, okay, all right.
And it's for the continued provision of streaming services and minute taking, or?
No, it's for
It doesn't
him
involve.
as the administrator.
Ed said the county, I think he misspoke.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. Just trying to avoid the acronyms.
This is Brian. I do think that we have the underlying resolutions, but those resolutions are really the enabling, if you will, documents that allow us to have an agreement. And so I think that it would be a good idea to have a memorialized contract, if you will, or an agreement between the zone and the EDC in order to be able to just outline more specifically the parameters so that everyone is on the same page.
Yeah,
That would be my opinion.
And I don't think it'd be too hard to create because it kind of exists in the resolution.
It exists in the
Right.
The
RFP as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just
In terms of documenting deliverables and expectations.
correct. It's just formalizing it so it's nice and clean. Keeps everything on the up and up.
Who's gonna write it?
Ed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the one that wants the money. Nick, Mark, any?
That's in the resolution.
We can add it with you, but I.
Yeah, I'd
I
like
think
to
we're
respond to
on
that.
it,
Okay.
Okay. So they fell asleep.
So are you're gonna make a draft of it and send it
Yes.
to the communities as well for review?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. The next one was about how we can, the next output of the meeting was about how we can ensure that we're reaching the right audience and that we're staying current and aware of different things that are happening within the EZ world, if you will. And so we talked about a lot of different opportunities or ideas relative to best practice sharing with current members, like the GSEP program, R1, other counties. I think it was Garrett or Lou that said, you know, we'd like to know what some of these other guys are doing and how they're doing things and what their successes are and so forth. We want to make sure that we're kind of bringing some outside insights into how we move forward. Some things we'll be able to use, some we will not. But we at least want to be aware of them. The idea of having guest speakers, some kind of like subject matter experts may come, and to the board maybe. If the board's open to it, we thought it might be great to have them at the board sometime, so we ensure that everybody's hearing the same input and hearing the same information that's out there, best practices and whatnot. And then possibly getting help on like grant writing and just different things that we haven't yet done to the level we would like to do moving forward. And so again, it's in a way to help us. Someone had said, and I think at the last meeting, taking us to the next level. And I think this is one of the things that we feel will help us do that.
Yeah. And so the idea there is that we've got a lot of new people on the EZ board. And there's been a changeover between Charlie to Ed. So yeah, let's reach out, let's see what some of these other communities are doing. Let's see what we can do as far as EZ to be a bit more aggressive in trying to lure businesses here.
And one of the things that I think came out from the meeting, which was a really good point, was through this, we feel we may be able to find out who are the right people we should, when we go back talking about marketing, who are the right ones to reach out to. We don't want to be just doing a shotgun approach. We want to reach out to the folks that have the influence and have the awareness that will optimize the marketing effort. And so we think that'll be a side benefit as well. And then lastly, these meetings aren't to go on indefinitely. They're just really to kind of help us get together and aligned at the beginning. And so we just asked how often should we have these. The group suggested monthly. I think that's fine because we can get, the more often we're connecting and seeing together, I think the quicker we can resolve some of these things and take advantage of some of these opportunities for us. So unless there's any objections or comments on that, we'll have these meetings going forward monthly, but there'll be study sessions and we'll make sure that we post it so we don't get anybody concerned about, how many board members were there, was there a quorum, would you vote on, and all that. We're not, just to make sure we're not deciding on anything. We're just getting some thoughts, aligned thoughts, so we can bring to the board and then we can raise it.
And just a note moving forward, in your admin report, when you highlight what was discussed, just refer to it as discussed, not agreed. Because then it implies we all came to it.
Words matter, okay.
It was a study session.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Okay.
I should have caught this before and I apologize.
Oh, no worries. And then just some other things. We did make some progress. Pete helped us with this, but we now have Lou, Garrett, Nick, and myself as official, authorized, locked up signees. So now we can start getting to signing some of these checks. And then the only other thing, I think everybody in the room might already be aware of this, Laura Williamson is no longer with the village of Marengo, or city of Marengo, so Mayor Kozoil is going to follow up this week from what Nick, if you want to say anything more current on that, but you had mentioned he was going to follow up next week on a replacement.
Yep, so Monday night, he's going to talk to the city council and see if any city council members would be willing to join in place as our second member. If not, Mayor Koziel will continue filling in that void.
Okay.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, and that is it for the report.
Thank you, Ed. Any other questions for Ed? No? All right. Let's go on to partner reports.
You guys.
We'll go ahead and, Garrett, we'll kick off with you, if you don't mind.
Sure. As far as active projects, I know the Food Shed Co-op is one that's utilizing the enterprise zone. They're supposed to be wrapping up this coming month with the primary construction. They're going to get the handoff from the builder to the tenant in February, but then spending another roughly 2 months doing tenant build out and, customer, they own their own building at that point, and staff training and stuff like that. So we're not expecting the business to open until April, but they're moving fast. We're happy with how quickly that's moving along. I sent you the report, but I'm trying to remember what the most recent ones were, other than that one. That's the main active one I'm thinking of. The bottom of the list. As far as upcoming ones, we've been talking for a while now about a large residential development on the diecast site downtown Woodstock. That
Six Labs?
Six Labs should be open already. That's a cannabis infusing lab, basically. So it's not growing, not selling, but just the infusing license is the only one they have. They're hoping to do all three eventually on that site, but right now it's just the one. If you know the former Golf and Games, it was a mini golf and go-karts track on Route 47.
Yeah.
That's where they're at now.
Okay.
So they've taken out all the fun, and it was a sad day when they dismantled the mini golf course in the front. So, anyway, right now I think they're already doing the cannabis infusing portion of it on site, so that was already done. Anyway, the residential development on the diecast site, that's going to be going to the city council at their next meeting, first week of February. Once that comes through, phase one, which should be under construction this year, is a $25 million building. So rough estimate is that they're going to pay the full price on enterprise zone. So we've got a range of low end $250, high end $50,000, right? So we should be getting a check for $50,000 from that first phase.
Yeah.
Actually, we should be getting a check for $50,000 each of the next 3 years from the various phases on that project.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
So, but exactly which month that lies in, so which budget year, I'm not
Right,
exactly
makes a
sure when
difference,
they're
yeah.
gonna get started.
Yeah, okay.
So, but as far as your budgeting, that's coming up, at least the first two phases for sure
Yeah.
is 24 and 25.
And that's a good thing, a good point out, when we're get into the budgeting for next year, we'll have to look at those, any projects that are on
Some
the
of
fence.
those forecasting ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, that one, and that project was also supported by county ARPA funds to the tune of 1.9 million. So we're just worth noting that the county also supported that one.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
When's the groundbreaking?
That's what I was saying. I'm not sure exactly when. It's going to our city council at their next meeting in February. So for the final,
Yeah, tell her.
because it's on, yeah, I'll let you know, of course,
Please.
when it comes. It's not only a TIF incentive agreement with the city, but also it's being built on city-owned land. So it's both a land agreement and TIF
Okay.
is what's going to the council.
Good. Good.
And that first unit is first building is 70 units, 5 stories, senior affordable housing.
Yeah, I was just reading an article, which I'll pass it along, I just got it, about how boomers are staying in their homes so long that it's kind of backing up everybody else.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's one of the solutions to our housing
Yes.
in Woodstock, is to basically make available 70 more single-family homes by putting them into this building. We feel it's a good thing for the whole of the community. So.
I'm sure it's also really good to, make it so that seniors can afford to, stay
Absolutely.
in their communities.
Yeah, we want to be able to keep them in our community long-term.
So it's like a downsizing project, essentially?
Not exactly. It's
Consolidation.
a good investment in the community, is what it is. But that's one of the effects it'll have, is being able to allow, we spent a lot of time with just the concept of being intergenerational and being age-friendly and that kind of thing. And this is definitely it's a development along those lines, so.
Please keep us up to date on that. We do have the workforce housing group that I know you've attended, and I know that our final paper is going to be, or at least our first white paper, I'm sure of others, I'm sure this will go on for a while, but it's going to be coming out about April too, so, it'd be good to be able to, weave that story in a little bit too.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
I think that's all I have.
Brian, you got anything else to add?
No, I don't think so. Thank you.
Nick?
Sure. So, nothing really relating to the enterprise zone itself, but I wanted to give a quick update on where we're at with the I-90 Route 23 interchange project as we continue to build out our plans to bring utilities down to the interchange. So we are through the design engineering phase of this project, which is super exciting. Over the last several months and for the next few months, we'll be working through the easement acquisition phase So we are currently negotiating with over 40 property owners for access to their easements. I think we're about halfway through coming to agreements with those property owners. Again, if we have no success, hopefully we can try and iron that out with those property owners, but that'll continue over the next couple months. Early spring, we are currently working on our bids to go out to start this process and receiving those bids. So hopefully by the summer or late summer, we'll be able to award those bids and start building that out. As a reminder, we have to have everything per the DCO grant guidelines under contract by the end of 2024. And we do have to have this project completed by the end of 2026. So the timelines are very tight, and hopefully we can meet those deadlines. And then other than that, we have several small developments, as I mentioned at the last meeting, still undergoing. Obviously with the snow and the cold recently, they haven't been out building, but they were rewarded a few extra weeks with that mild weather, so that was helpful. And that's really it for the city of Marengo at this time.
Thanks, Nick. All right, I'm going to turn this part over to Donovan. He's our all-star.
So the Ford dealership, the expansion for their EV side is all completed. They passed their final inspection a couple weeks ago. Philip Sassano, owner of Design Coach and a canvassing company, they purchased a dilapidated building in the downtown, applied for the EZ program, and were approved. Their total project cost is several $100,000. The EZ will save them about $7,000 in permit fees, which they're grateful for. We're still going through the plan review process. They did all their interior demo work, but that'll be they'll be kicking off their construction here shortly. The Dunkin' Donuts, their plans have been approved. We're just waiting for them to start their interior build out. The shell's been completed for a while. I think they're going through the bidding process now with contractors. So that should be starting shortly. And we've got someone kicking the tires around town for a potential car wash, which Harvard desperately needs. So that we imagine will be starting in spring. They're aware of the enterprise zone benefits, so we'll see. They've got several options for properties up and down 14. I think it'll be a go here soon. Other than that, I think that's it.
Well, the only things I can add to that is we have Congressman LaHood is coming down for a visit on Tuesday, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's graciously given the city, some of us, some of the city officials, 45 minutes to an hour to talk about potential projects for the city. Yeah, and we're looking at that. And Tuesday night ought to be fun. We've got discussion about backyard chickens. Hopefully that'll spur more residential development. And then something, just kind of a preview. I've had a team, we've been working on a new city logo. And we've kind of nailed it down. Two big representations is Harmilda, representing Milk Days, since that's a long-standing, and Dacey Airport, which has also been a long-standing item there in Harvard. I hope to go to the Community Development Committee to get preliminary approval to go to the council for final approval on the new logo. And then assuming that they approve it, hopefully in February, we'll start rolling that out in at least small items until we eventually work on signs.
That sounds wonderful. When you guys actually do that, let me know. I'd be happy to, from the county's perspective, congratulations, City of Harvard, on your new logo. Doesn't it look great? I'm assuming it's gonna look great, and I know
I think
it'll be
it
great.
looks, probably the greatest logo ever created myself.
Well, I'm sure it's not the greatest one. The greatest one is a big MCH, but no, okay.
Maybe a close second.
It's probably a close second,
They're
but
all the
still, we'd be
greatest.
more than happy to start helping you guys raise
Yeah,
awareness.
it's interesting because the way it's been done in the past is that the mayors have on their own decided what the logo is going to be, and usually it's been the current logo, just some modifications to it. One of the things that we're not allowed to do is, and this has spurred this whole discussion, is on our banner it says Home of Milk Days. Well, Milk Days is a copyrighted subject matter, so we cannot have that on the city logo. So that's what's kind of spurred, let's look at something different. And so other than small changes here and there, the logo's been the same since, I want to say, late 40s, maybe mid 50s.
Wow.
So it's been a long time coming, and we've had different color schemes. So this will be a set color scheme or pattern or branding pattern and a logo.
Well done, that's gonna be
So
awesome.
I forgot to grab my version of it to give you a preview. There's two really, and the biggest change is whether it says Harvard IL at the top or City of Harvard, Illinois at the top. That's probably the big difference between the two. So I'm excited about that. I know the mayor in the past has tried to talk about a new logo, and that got shut down badly. So it's a good thing I don't have any hair anymore. So we'll see how badly I get beat up. Mark, you got anything to add?
I really don't at the time. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey Lou, I just want to say that's super exciting for the logo change, and then also with the keeping of chickens, let me know. We brought that forth to the city council. What was that, during early spring, during the summer? So I did a lot of work on that. Sadly, it failed, but I have a lot of research from comparable communities and draft ordinance and all that stuff with setbacks, and I put a lot of work into it. So if you ever need anything, let me know with that one.
Will do. Thanks, Nick.
Yep.
And likewise, before Laura left, I had shared with her a draft ordinance that is also on our agenda for Tuesday night about chartered buses. I don't know if you...
we got that.
You good?
We got
Okay.
that for Monday night.
Good.
So that'll be interesting.
This is about
Well, thank you
giving
for
us
that.
heads up and so on.
Yeah. Yeah, we did that as well.
Yeah, you guys did it. Ours is kind of based, because we're a non-home rule, ours is based a little bit more, the verbiage, more on Johnsburg. So that's it for me. Anything else? No, you're quiet down there. You got anything to add?
You guys got it handled today.
Well, I like the direction we're going with, and this is just a general announcement for me. I like the direction we're going with this EZ board about more communication between everybody, making sure everything is on the up and up as well. And yeah, and then part of what Ed mentioned was some education, since we have new members and potentially even more new members coming from Marengo. Getting a thorough understanding of what we can and cannot do as far as the EZ and what other EZs have done. So looking forward to how this progresses upward. So other than that, do I have a motion to adjourn? Unless you guys want me to keep talking.
We always want you to keep.
Make a motion to adjourn. You were looking at me for
Do I
something.
get a second?
Second.
I'll second.
All right, I got a motion and a second. Do I need a roll call for that?
Nope.
Nope, all right. All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye.